show is right. Blackland, Prairie Ranch, Torcs Round 1. Open sea class, baby. Let's go. Come on, Zach, kick it, he said.
There's the point. There your nods.
Got the double decade class in front of us here. Oh, it looks like Zach didn't kick it very well. What are you doing, Zach? Come on. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not sure if that's Zach or not. I have no idea what this guy on the left is doing here in my class, but good luck getting back in line, buddy. Alright, today we got 31 racers on the line. I believe it was about 34 that entered, I think 3 didn't start. Engines off. As you're about to witness, we have the worst start in race history. And there's the flag, and we flamed the bike out because we were so nervous we were on the gas. As you can tell, we are dead last. 31 to 5th is how we're going to rock this race. Starting off in the back here, it's kind of a good thing as we can see a big pile up happen in the second turn. 1 down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at them crawling out of the way. Hope they're alright. As we get going here, I completely forget to breathe. Off the start here, I try to get this tight inside with this guy, and he flames out his bike. I have to get across rut, go over that little rut. Right now, I believe we are about 10th position, and at this moment, we are not looking too good. During practice, I told myself we're going to take the right line because no one else is taking it, and then I fucked myself by not taking the left because everyone and their moms decided to take the right. So as we sit behind the long train of people, we have to slowly pick them off, and we know it's going to be a long journey ahead of us. We get one right out here off the start. I think we're in about 9th position now. Just trying to take it easy because I know we can't pass much of this tight single track with this huge line in front of us. Right there. I don't know if you heard that heavy breath, but that was probably the first time I breathed, or breathed. I don't even know how you say that. That was the first time I took a breath since that flag was waved, I bet. For some reason, I always hold my breath in at the start of the race. Right about here, we really wanted to get on the gas, and we realized we were already gassed out.
Breathe. Grip the legs.
Telling myself to breathe and grip with the legs, and also stand.
Stand.
Gotta remind myself during that race that sometimes I forget how to ride. This little section here was pretty fun. By the end of the last lap, I was about 3rd gear, 4th gear, just flying through this area. We get a little bottleneck around this corner. It's like one of the first tiny log crossings. Nothing big at all, but like I said, everyone was bundled up trying to get past it going. Off to a little open section here, but we're just lacking behind, didn't manage to get any passes. This section here was beautiful. The dirt at this property was absolutely amazing. You could get traction anywhere. On top of that, even with my brand new Michelin bibs, I was still gripping up. Not sure who this friendly guy was, but at the race line, he was on my left-hand side. I missed it on the GoPro, but he said, "Man, if I'm in your way, just rev or yell at me." He was pretty cool. As you can tell from practice, the ruts are already getting pretty deep, but the traction is amazing. I really wanted to try to make an inside pass on the right here, but this tree section didn't look very passable and it would have been tight. I do believe I ended up yelling at him and realized that was a waste of my breath. He did tell me to yell or rev at him, so he roosted me to return. Don't worry, every time the camera gets covered up, we do end up eventually knocking it off. A tight right-hander here, and I almost went around them through these tall shrubbery, but they ended up moving. That did make me lose a lot of time and a lot of energy, believe it or not. One last little good roost from him, and I do end up letting him pass, or he ends up letting me pass here, and we continue on our way. This section was very fun, very bumpy. Testing out that new suspension as well, set up from Doc. I had A12 suspension. It was a little stiff for me, but we are going to work into it. We're just going to get faster from here. This first lap, my lap time was 9 minutes and 43 seconds, which was absolutely atrocious for this small course, but we ended up getting down to, I believe, 8 something. So our fastest lap time was actually 8:59, right under 9 minutes. Not the best, but we're getting better. We are almost done the first lap here. We're about 80% through. We got this wide open section here. We dip back into some small woods, and then we'll hit the finish. This left-hander was the sickest left-hand turn in the entire race. If you hit that with speed, it was phenomenal coming out of there with the front wheel up. Obviously, I wasn't hitting it with speed, guys. Right here, about every single race, right before the first lap ends, is where I absolutely want to quit. My arms are arm pumped, I'm super tired, I'm probably dabbing the ground too much than I should, and then this happens. The easiest turn in the world I happen to fall over in because I am tired and out of shape. We got my bike up and going, but of course we got passed by the same guy that let us pass earlier, so now we lost more time and we got to catch back up to the crowd. That was the one and only time we did fall this entire race, but our main goal for this year is try not to get down at any race whatsoever. Obviously, they do happen. We're gonna try to shake it off and push through. This is the last couple lines to the finish, right around this pond here. Super sick. Coming in the end of lap 1 here, I believe I'm about 7th or 8th position. Right here off to the right is where the race start was, for those of you who don't know. And then we continue off where we started. Turn 2 will be right up here. And this is the start of lap 2. Overall, it was a really good race. I think it was a good turnout for the new property. It wasn't half decent, half bad. It was pretty good. We definitely could have done a lot better if we were better in shape and have rode more overall, but we were working a lot this year. Let's see what line we pick. I do not remember. We ended up sticking with the right line. I believe overall it was faster. Just in that first lap, when you get the bottleneck, it's definitely hard to pass. Now, right now, I can tell by my breathing that I am absolutely done for. I do hit a second wind halfway through the race. It always happens about lap 2.5, lap 3. I'll hit a second wind, and that's when we really hit the flow. I know a lot of the fatigue is definitely from not riding as much as I should. I definitely want to be able to at least ride once a week, which I was not even riding once a month. So I know if I ride more, there'll be less fatigue for sure. And also, I was getting used to the new stiffer suspension, so my arms are not just used to that.
I have so much fatigue. Come on.
There you go. Trying to motivate myself during the race. Telling myself, come on, step it up, let's get it. We don't quit. I know once my second wind hits, I'm usually good. That's why I was telling myself, come on. Overall, if we ride more, get to practice some more, get some more strength training in, we'll definitely have better endurance. This was very unfortunate right there. I know that I don't even want to talk about that. There's definitely a better line I could have took to get around all of that, but like I said, we're tired, we're not thinking. I can tell I'm holding back because I'm literally holding in the clutch on a straightaway here. Clearly I am faster than this guy at a couple straightaways and the single track. We just gotta wait for our turn to pass again. Nice little smooth pass on the right side, wasn't too bad. We're feeling a little bit better now that we caught back up to that one position. But we do have to catch up to the pack if we're trying to get any sort of points. Got this guy drifting over here. One tire in the rut, one tire out. hard opportunities to pass. They were good places to pass, but at the same time, if you got stuck in that bad position, you're stuck behind them for a while. Typically faster at the single track compared to the wide open sections. It's just what I'm more used to and what I practice more often. But typically when I get to the tight single track, I end up catching up. The wide open section, I usually start getting gaps. Like I said, we're going to talk about that bike setup. Even though the suspension is set up a little bit stiffer so I can work into it, it did feel amazing, obviously, compared to the stock suspension setup. I was just running the stock clickers and the stock suspension on this bike for 23 hours, and it wasn't the best. Doc definitely worked his magic on it because this suspension feels amazing. It feels like a whole different bike. I did yell at that guy. I know that was pretty stupid of me, realizing I looked at his helmet and realized he was in my class, not Open D. He's riding the same race I am. So we're going to have to pass him using skill. Crazy if I tried that pass, and I thought about it too. I did get slowed up a little bit there since he did get kind of stuck on that hill. He got my tires stuck in that root there. See, I was on his rear end the entire time in the single track, and now that we're in a wide open section, he's gone. So I do need to get better at riding open and wide open. But yeah, like I said, brand new suspension, brand new Michelin bibs. Also got a couple goodies, some protection parts. Got a new Acroprofit silencer, expansion chamber from Motos. Right here, this section, there's these roots, and my bib was bouncing off those like a mother. They were rock hard, but they definitely loosened up after this race. A little more braking time with those, and they'll be perfect. Right there was the jump, quote unquote. Not really a jump, just a little thing to hit, and you had to hit it. If you went to the left and right of it, you got knocked. Right here, we try to shove some water under our throat with our hydration bladder, I believe. Actually, no. I do remember this. We were way too focused to even drink water. We were definitely committed to trying to pass this guy. So at this point, I hear this monster 4-stroke behind me, and I'm not too sure who's trying to pass me at the moment. Clearly, it must be someone in my class. And then we give up the inside, just like that. Mr. D46. Nice little pass on the inside. And of course, I try to keep up with him, and he just rails on the open section. Mr. Delgado there, he ended up getting 3rd place. I ended up getting 5th. So that was the guy I needed to catch up to and stay up with on the podium. I believe he finished the race 26 seconds faster than I did. If I'm reading that correctly. So here we take the left line because we have a lapper that we need to pass. And we end up passing him just barely in time. I was very out of shape right here, the needless to say. I can tell by the way I go from sitting to standing in the straightaways that I am very tired. Typically just want to stand the entire time, but I'm out of shape. And as you can tell, Mr. number 46 is completely gone. And that was for podium there. Obviously I know none of this at the time. I'm just trying to ride my race and ride my pace. Most important thing is to come back in one piece, not to get hurt and have fun, but also progressively get better. Here's a little straightaway. Come on, let's get on it. See right here I'm holding the clutch in, which literally tells me I am tired of shit. Also, the camera angle is a little bit knocked down from lap 1 because when I fell over, I bashed my face into the floor and it tilts my camera angle a little down. Also didn't know that, but still get a good preview of everything for the rest of the race. Over the course of the 8 laps I did, my first lap was the absolute slowest, all the way to my last lap, which was my fastest lap. So every lap I progressively got faster. Typically, obviously, it usually is like that. In most cases. Some cases it's not. For example, you have a bad crash one lap, lap 7, boom, your lap 7, longer lap time than your lap 3. We only had that one fall in lap 1, and we ended up getting faster and faster every lap just by memorizing the course. And of course, like I said, hitting that second wind at about lap 3 or lap 4. That's when we really increased our lap times. Knocked it off about 10 seconds every lap after about lap 3. My front tire almost gave out there, told me I had too much front weight on the front, and I was also too tired to maintain proper posture. Sorry for the curse words, but we got myself yelling at myself because we know I'm super tired, out of shape.
Crash, bro. Don't fall.
And we're now just telling myself,
Try it easy.
Don't crash. Don't fall. Drive easy. Don't even care about what place is what I'm telling myself. Just finish the race and finish strong and don't get hurt. Because we were getting our hopes up about this point. We started giving up. I don't know why we do that every single race. We start giving up about this point. And then once that second wind hits, I don't know what makes it trigger. But as soon as it triggers, man, it's like a freaking rush. It's like a high. You just want to go as fast as you can. There we got a pass on the guy in 85 in our class. Inside line was the best line overall for that turn right there. It was so smooth once you got up to flow. See, these are all the kind of things that you start realizing in practice and learn that in practice before the race starts. Now here I feel insanely bad. I scream different class. He pulls over for me. I bash his hand, and then I almost make myself fall and lost energy myself. To whoever that was, I believe it was an elderly man, just by the posture he had on the bike. I feel so incredibly sorry. I'm very sorry I did that. You pulled over for me, I yelled different class, and my dumbass still smacked your bike, smacked the back of your hand probably, it probably hurt, probably made you fall over, and made me almost fall over, and made me lose energy as well, so I'm extremely sorry about that. So now right here, we just start gunning it out of nowhere. I'm not sure if that's what caused our second wind to kick in. It's me almost falling over, but here we go. That left-hand turn is amazing right there. Love that.
Oh, fuck.
We are exhausted. Hear my voice. You can hear me cussing like a sailor. Unfortunately, sorry about that. We will try to fix that in the next round. Right there, my bibs got zero traction. Just because of how hard they were brand new and there was roads were incredibly stiff. We are almost done lap 2 here. We're about to start lap 3. Got the little jump around the pond, and we'll be to lap 2. Should have shifted up here, then slammed it down a gear and hit the turn faster. Should have done a lot of things. Looking back, it's good to look back at the video, see where I mess up. Right here, I gotta shove my tube in my mouth, start drinking some water because I am dehydrated. Nobody's around us, we're actually able to focus on our race, focus on our pace, and really push how we can. Once I get into this zone and this kind of riding is how I ride the fastest, and that's what I need to stick to. If I'm able to do that at the start of the race to the finish, we'll become a lot faster. Now right here out of nowhere I get passed by, it looks like 7th place. So he does pass me. He is in my class. He is going very fast. So at this point, I do try to keep up with him. Typically when I get passed by someone in my class, I do always try to keep up and hold their pace. And either wait for them to mess up, or wait till I get enough energy to try to make a pass. It looks like this was number 154. He finished 7th. I ended up finishing 5th, so I do make 2 passes after this. And that's the place I end up coming in. We are more than halfway through the race now. Race, not waste. There's a couple more exciting points up here, and I do get in video, I believe, where I end up making the pass on this guy. Or maybe I do not. It takes me a while to pass him, I tell you that. But as you can tell, I don't want to get him out of my sight, so I'm trying to stick with him. I see him dabbing the ground. As long as we don't make mistakes and he does, we'll end up slowly catching up. Right here, not sure what I was doing by not shifting, by not, man, I don't know. Literally just coasting down that hill. For whatever reason, I have no idea. If I had stayed on the gas, I would have been right on his butt. Now coming around this corner, I do see some traffic, and it is the log. So I'm not sure why that guy stopped. This guy ends up falling over. So I ended up making 2 passes there. I believe it's just 1 pass because I believe that guy that fell over was an open D. But lucky for us, the guy in our class stopped. He ended up getting stuck behind that guy. And here we are taking off. Passed another open D right in there. Now we can ride our pace with him. Should have shifted and stayed more on the gas here. Slam down the gear here. Hit the turn harder. A lot of things I could have done looking back. So much easier for me to say now when I'm feeling great sitting in a chair. Completely different when you're out there feeling fatigued. Now for the next minute or 2, I'm going to let you guys see some raw race footage of just the bike. Me flowing the trail. Not much happens here, just me trying to catch up some time and catch up to some people. Up here we got a sweeper. Typically sweepers follow behind the last class, so now we realize that we are lapping D class right here, and we are like, okay, that's not a bad sign, not a good sign, but we're noticing that, hey, we're catching up to people, so hopefully we're catching up to our class. Once he gets out of the way, we end up taking off, and off we go. That sound of that pipe right there. really feeling it, we're really in the groove, and we're really trying to knock down some places. We're getting faster in the turns, braking into the turns, using front and rear. Now we're locking in. If we just did that the last 2 laps, we would have been up there with our class already. Smooth as fast, smooth as fast. The trick about going through these people when you get lappers is you have to make sure you pass them in a good decent area. Sometimes they can't pull over, or sometimes they won't pull over. Just gotta make sure you get smoothly by them. I'm not entirely sure if that left or right line, the little ravine right there, was faster. But that right side was pretty slow. Right here we can definitely tell we're starting to get into it, starting to rip it. We're feeling good. Hitting the turns harder, hitting everything harder. And I was disappointed about that turn right there. We totally missed up that rut. And the cameraman was there, so if you got a picture of me, it was probably horrible. My posture probably looked completely crap. As we make our way through these tight trees, these ruts are getting deeper and deeper every lap. Main focus at this point is not falling and not allowing anyone to pass me. Wasn't necessarily trying to make passes, just trying not to get passed. And right here, I believe we have lap 4 coming to an end. We're taking a lap around the pond. I had a feeling about falling in that thing. Good thing I didn't. Right here, we're checking our watch, realizing, holy crap, we have a lot of laps left. I realized at this point in time, we were only about halfway done the race. Lap 4 just finished. We are now starting lap 5. Ended up doing 8 complete laps. When I realized that, I knew I was in for one. Either I stayed on the gas as hard as I could, ended up getting podium, kept my pace and stayed where I was, or completely gave up and got nowhere near 5th place. Obviously that last one was not an option. I'm going to start yelling at myself again and get myself going. With the ruts being so big now, when you picked a line, you had to stay in the line.
Watch out!
Sorry to scare the crap out of you, sir. I know you're not really supposed to pass on the right, but that was the only option I had. Thank you, sir, there, for stopping and letting me go by. And I hope that guy didn't think that was an aggressive yell, okay? It sounded very aggressive now that I just listened to this back. It sounded horrible. It sounded like I was mad at him. I just didn't want to hit him. I would have felt bad. Like like I did the other guy. Now, when I sound like that, the typically means I almost hit a tree and crashed. Man, I remember earlier I told you guys I was railing through that area. It does not look like I was railing through that area. Maybe it felt like I was railing through that area. Definitely was not. You need to work on that. I'm not sure why I picked that line every single time. I know why I did the first 2 laps because people were in the way, but every single time I picked that slow right line.
Super class!
I started screaming at this guy way back when because I wanted him to move. Thank you, sir. Now coming out of this corner here, right about here, you got on the gas really hard, your front wheel would fly up if your body posture wasn't all the way forward. And man, every single time I wanted to pop that front wheel up and try to hold a wheelie across there. But I was racing, and I didn't want to try to risk it. So after this next turn here, I'm going to be a bit of a Karen to complain. We have 2 guys sitting on the trail, so I decided to go around them. As soon as I decided to go around them, one guy decided to start his bike and take off. Utter bullshit. Now let me explain why I'm actually mad. It looks like they crashed into each other and ended up picking up their bikes and sitting on top of it and asking, hey man, you okay? Hey dude, you okay? That's completely fine. I understand if you're hurt, can't pick up your bike, can't move out of the way. If you're in the way of the main track, we'll go around you, no issues. But clearly, the guy sitting on his bike that was hurt had enough energy to pick up his bike. He should have picked up his bike, got out of the track, out of the main way, and then he could have sat on top of it. That's just a danger thing. Why would you sit on the main course, right in the way, and sitting there holding your arm? That's ridiculous. Now right here, we do pass somebody in my class. I'm not sure if I'm lapping this guy or if he was already in front of me, but he's on a very small 65, so shout out to him. I'm starting to feel really good at this point. Really catching up to the lappers, so that means we have to be getting closer to our class.
Hey! What the fuck?
So, not sure if you know what just happened there, but that guy decided to cut across his line instead of hold his line. And I was gonna rail right past to his right, but he decided to just cut all the way across traffic. So I slammed my brakes to go on the inside. That's the only reason why I got mad there. It just totally surprised me. But then again, it's open D. But it just scares me that they didn't know you have to hold your line. Like, I understand it's not motocross, we're not jumping. But man, if I'm actually railing and you're just gonna cut me off like that, that's ridiculous. And yes, I know a lot of you are about to say, well, you're supposed to pass on the left. I understand that, but there's certain scenarios you can't, or it's just not the best option. So now here, I'm not sure if it was against the rules or if this guy was even going to get docked in position, but I mainly freaked out because I thought he was in my class. He's not even in my class, so I'm not even worried about it. And looking back at the video, it looks like he passed me right before scoring. So is this before scoring, at scoring, during scoring? I'm not sure. But yeah, you weren't allowed to pass there at scoring, and that guy snuck right in at the start of snoring. So is that... I don't know. If that guy was in my class, would he get docked in position? Does that not count? Was that not close enough to the start of scoring? How does that work? Not sure. Well, didn't even want to ask because it didn't mean anything to me. But yeah, I am curious. And right there, we just got passed by 7th place in our class, I believe. I think that was number 154, ended up passing me again, and I do end up catching him up here in the future again. All we gotta do is we make sure we ride hard, ride our pace, ride a little bit faster than our pace if we can, and just do not fall over. No mistakes. Also, now coming up around this turn is something I spoke about earlier. Please do not be these guys. Why are you sitting right there in the track? Two people trying to work on their bike on that inside line. And I wouldn't be saying anything, but that line, I was taking that line. I was speeding right through those guys where they were sitting. Why couldn't they sit outside the road? Why couldn't they sit on the far, far outside line that absolutely nobody was taking? Why would you sit on the track? Please do not do that. Thank you.
Hey!
Shout out to you. He heard I was behind him. He knew I was a different class. Let me pass instantly. He knew I was trying to keep up with the guy all in white in my class, so he actually learned fast. Shout out to him. As you can see, we got a little bottleneck happening again. I get over the log, we pass this guy, I think he was an open D, but it gave us some time to catch up to him in our class. So here we go, we're back at it. We're trying to maintain speed, keep up with him, keep the pace going, maintain composure. We started flying through this little section, it was fun. We're gonna get down in here, hit this little right hand turn. Hopefully we can make it past it. Right about here is when we noticed that not only are we tired, but my man all in white is tired too. So we're feeling good. We're watching how he rides, seeing where he gets tired, seeing where he makes mistakes, trying to do stuff differently than him. Right here we're standing the whole time. We were noticing he was sitting, he's losing energy. If you're watching this, you can take some pointers. But here we go. He gets to the open section. He's very quick on the open section. I only catch him in the tight trail. See? The guy right there all in red, he knew me and this guy were having a battle. We're neck and neck. He pulled over. I almost crashed into that tree. Well, I did crash into that tree right there because I was staring directly at it. Now, I think coming up here, we end up passing, or he ends up passing, an open D lapper. And that lapper really pissed me off. He ended up letting him pass and then just blocking me off and sitting behind me. So therefore I couldn't pass him. It's very, very, very tragic. But that doesn't happen for about another 2 or 3 minutes, I believe. Right now we're just trying to maintain pace with this guy and conserve. We were noticing he was dabbing the floor, he was sitting down where he shouldn't, we were noticing he was getting tired. So my plan usually when that happens is conserve your energy, don't look for a pass, conserve it all until we get to some open sections, and then find where we can pass him. There, he lost a little bit of speed. I thought I could end up passing him right here, but I believe I don't pass him until next lap. Like I said, he's really quick on the open sections. Once we get to the tight woods, I end up catching back up time. We're trying to maintain every line he does, but just do it a little bit faster every time. Right up here, he ends up catching a lapper, and thankfully, he knows how to let us over. So he lets him by, and then notices that I'm shortly behind him, so he ends up letting me by right after. Shout out to him. You didn't have to take your hand off, you just have to stay a little bit to the right.
Thank you.
Do not recommend anyone taking their hand off or trying to look back if I'm yelling at you. I've literally watched somebody crash that did that. Now right here I end up taking my original line. I should have followed guy all in white. He was smart about it. What did I do? I followed open D class guy. He ruined my line. I took a line I never took before at the middle line. Got stuck. Lost more time. So next time I really need to pay attention. Really need to pay attention to who I'm following and who I'm trying to chase. My main goal was the guy all in white. I caught up to him and I didn't even take his line. I figured if I went around the line he went to, I could make up more time. But it ended up screwing me over. gear. Not sure if you can hear my bike, but I'm in the wrong gear. Totally going through it. I'm mad at myself. Short amount of this guy right here. Screamed at him to get out of my way. I was going through it. So sorry, guys. When I scream, I don't mean to be mean. Just want you to hear me. I don't know why I ended up following this guy either. I don't know why I didn't take the inside line. I really was not using my brain. We're about to come up on the end of this next lap here. And sure enough, the lap following this one, we will get the pass that secures our 5th place. And what we truly were going after, to finally pass the guy on white. We were going neck and neck. Our times were really close all race. That's a good one. Didn't even slow down to drink water. I'm ready for this win. After that long straightaway, I can slowly start seeing the man all in white. Ever so slightly, I start slowly but surely catching up to him to the single track, because that is where I excel. I need to definitely advance my racing, get faster at the wide open, start doing a lot better overall. Then again, boom, I lost him. Can't see him. Not a trace of him. Not a peep. Now I would say at this point, I do start getting a cramp in my hips. Sounds very weird, but my hips, my lower back start getting the craziest cramp. If I were to sit down in the turn, I would instantly get a cramp and have to stand straight back up. It was horrible. But it did force me to stand. Also probably progressed my lap time faster.
Watch out!
Now we see him all in white. Not sure if he got stuck behind that lap bar I just shelled out. But I didn't want to make sure that I didn't get stuck by him either, so I yelled in advance. Make sure he knew I was coming through. It just happened to be a good part where I could pass. Now that we finally see our victim, we're trying not to freak out. We know he's in our class, we know we need to make it pass, we know the end of the race is coming near. So we start getting on it. Still sticking with him. He really gets me on the straightaways, on the more technical, tight stuff, is where I excel. So right here we notice, he starts dabbing. He starts sitting, he starts stabbing. Who knows, the suspension is hitting him hard. He's getting weak, he's getting tired. feeling the exact same way he is. Feeling weak and tired. Just where can we use that energy to pass? So here we go. We get on it. We get a little straightaway. I don't know why this guy did not let me in, but he heard me.
Watch out, please. Please watch out. Dude.
Again.
Hey, buddy.
Very upset, a very unfortunate scenario that happened here for me. Not sure why this guy couldn't get over for me. Not sure if he didn't see me and that guy going at it, trying to fight for position. But sure enough,
Hey!
he made me wait.
Get out of the way, buddy, please.
After this third time, I wasn't going to tell him again. I was going to bash him over,
Fuck, man.
unfortunately. Sorry for the foul language there again. I was very upset. Because I got stuck behind him. Now look at where we're at. No man in white. Man in my class is gone. We're back to the grind, trying to catch up. And this is where we excel, is the single track. So we know if we don't catch him here, we ain't catching him in the open. He's bummed. Super bummed. Did I let it stop me? No. What's absolutely mind-blowing too is I end up passing him on the last lap. This is lap 7 that we're on right now. There's one more lap after this, and I pass him on the last lap. As you can see, you can barely see him up there in white. He's railing. Right where he is now, and right where my bike is right now, is where I pass him on lap 8. And I beat him right to this section of woods, and I take off. But until we get there, we have time to make. Now the most unfortunate thing happens to me here. He passes a D-rider right there, and I am a bit behind, so the D-rider doesn't know I'm coming. But I come in hot, take the inside line here, try to pass him on the inside. He doesn't let me. Then decides to pull over mid-track with his foot out. I hit his foot. It almost makes me fall over. I get pissed. I say, what the fuck, man? I take off, and I'm mad.
You just took away all my fucking energy.
Yep, so sorry about that. We had to leave that part out too. Yeah, so long story short, he stops right there, pretty much in the middle of the track, with his foot wide out. So my front tire smashes his foot. I almost fall over, lose control. His foot probably hurts like a motherfucker. It didn't do any of us good. And guess what? I am now farther away from the man in white. That's why it took us to lap 8 to pass this guy. Here we go. Come on. We need to step it up. We need to get our shit together. We need to finish the race strong. Looks like it's the end of lap 7 coming. I look over, I see the man all in white, and I said, man, it is time, baby. It is time to shine. I checked my watch and realized, holy shit, we have 1 lap left. Time to lock in. Time to lock in. Let's go. Realizing with 1 lap left, I'm either gonna make this position or I'm not. And me not knowing what place I am, that could have been the deciding factor of podium or no podium. First or second. And if you ain't first, you're last. So we had to fight as hard as we can for this position. This is our fastest lap. You are currently looking at a 9-minute lap here. I read my engine because I wasn't sure if he knew I was coming in. Didn't want to hit him. Right here, we're 3rd gear, good pace. 3rd gear, good pace. At this moment, we want nothing more but to finish the race without anyone passing us, and if possible, pass anybody on this last lap. It means a different position. I hear brakes behind me. I hear motors. Got a slow rider, different class in front of me. Trying to get him out of my way. He did take a while to pull over. He decided to pull over at the worst turn possible. I'm not sure where they decide to get their pullover skills, but whatever they feel is comfortable to them, I'm cool with. We have another open D guy we need to pass. We do not see the man in white. We are a little discouraged at this point, but we know we need to get these lappers out of the way. We need to. There you go. We see him. At this point, we see the man all in white, and we are ready. Ready to attack. We're ready to secure that position. This guy sounds like a legend. The man in white. But yeah, right here, we screamed this guy a little early. We knew we gotta pass him. We gotta catch up to the man in white. We gotta go hard. Unfortunately, my camera doesn't make it the entire race. My camera dies about 7 minutes before the end of this race. But we do end up passing the man in white on a very swift turn. That exact area I told you about last lap. It was amazing. We beat him right before the woods, and we gunned it. We didn't let him pass him. We didn't let it go down. And bam, that was the end of the race. Secured 5th out of 31 racers. It was a great event, great race. Overall, went extremely well. Thank you guys for watching. Look forward to the next one. Peace.